Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Drinks and Destination, a handy guide to the world of wine, spirits and more, along with a dip into travels around the world.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Now the news that we've been having a lot of news. Now on the field action is over, the season has come to an end, but off field action remains the same. But every day we've been getting new news that just some of them puts us in say, okay, okay, great light. Finally something has come. Now finally something has come is what I meant is ISL announcing the two new teams that are going to play in the league. We spoke about it. We went through. I also read about the stories on our website. That is Bengaluru FC and a team from Tata. Now that is fair enough, TK. Now after that came another surprising twist and element was Mohan Bagan's president, Tutu Basu, resigns from his post. Now that was another backfiring to the club. Okay, a man who's been there for a very long time says goodbye to the club. He states it's health issue, but we know it's more than that. Now you also read about that because Chiranjeev wrote the TFG take about it on our website. Now last evening there was another news. It just gets worse day by day. Now this news really comes as, I wouldn't say surprise, but it's shocking. Because we didn't really see this coming from. We expected this. We saw this. We should have. We were already surprised when the Goan clubs pulled out. Okay, and then everybody was just left stranded and helpless. Even AIFF did not do nothing about it. They pretended that they tried to get them back, but it didn't work. So this recent current team is DSK Shivajians. Now, Kevin is here in the studio. Today we both are the only ones here. Chiranjeev is travelling. He will be there tomorrow. So we'll have, of course, taking everything what's happened, looking back at the week because tomorrow is like the weekend. But today we should talk about DSK. Now, Kevin, you've looked at this team closely. This whole past season you even spoke to the coach, Dave Rogers. And it's so sad that whenever we see a club coming from Pune, we're like happy because Pune FC were a good team and they had a proper structure. They were doing really well. And then they shut down. Okay, I think the only team that didn't do that well was Bharat FC coming from Pune. But then we saw DSK coming into the picture. They come in as a corporate entry. They did really well. Like 2 seasons they were there. Roped in. First season wasn't that great, but then they rectified all their mistakes, got in their, the Liverpool Academy that they have, DSK Liverpool Academy, got in that man, Dave Rogers, and he really worked well. I mean, we saw players like Jerry do well, we saw young players given more prominence and given them growth. You've spoken to the man, you've looked at the team closely. How did you react to when this news broke out?
It's totally shocking. It's like something you can never think of. Now, when I had a conversation with Dave Rogers when I was in Pune, he sounded like someone who has a mission. And for his mission, this team was the most likely to get him to where he wanted to be. And it was not just for him, it was not something personal, it was for the club as well. Because investing in youth is a big risk, I would say, because it does not give you immediate returns. It's a long-term process. You get in the youngsters, you train them, you build a team, and then you start to see how they perform, and the results don't come immediately. So they were getting there. And there was one, I remember I spoke to Dave Rogers and I mentioned this. So we were in the same of the same opinion that youth does not give you performance on paper. It gives you on that character is shown on the field, but there's no measure of that character.
Right.
So I said there's only one thing that can keep this team going is sticking around. He's done a tremendous job keeping that team together, getting them up there against the better clubs, and he told me that I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So obviously it's not a club decision. It's something that the management has come at consensus. But going by the assumption that the club has come to on this decision, it just makes us feeling stronger about where we are headed. The reason that DSK are backing out, they are pulling out, is that logistical infrastructure issues will be clashing.
Yeah.
You know,
Once if the parallel leagues start, because
that is their most, biggest concern here, that we can play. It's not a problem that we cannot field a team that is good enough. There is logistical issues.
Yeah.
Both FC Pune City and DSK Shivajians share the same stadium.
yeah, the Balewadi in Pune. And
That could have even be possible had it not been a simultaneous league.
leagues, yeah. Because
No,
we've been seeing that. I mean,
Yes,
it's been
because
happening.
the ISL and I League happen at two different times of the
Yeah.
year. It is started by the ISL and then followed by the I League. But the rumours are getting stronger. As they're not getting stronger. They're just getting more, being more. They're having more truth in them.
Yeah.
That there will be a simultaneous league, and so clubs do get to know before fans like us get to know about all
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So it's really sad to see this team being forced, even being capable, being forced not to play.
Now, towards the end of the season, keeping aside that Dave Rogers, the man and who had a mission, just like you said, he even led them to the Federation Cup for the first time. Now, keeping all that, I think towards the end, we also had news emerging from the camp that some players and some were not being paid and everything. So do you think that was also one of the reasons? I mean they are also worried about the players not coming back, their dues are not paid. So how does all this affect?
I think there are issues in every club. Even if you consider Mohan Bagan for that matter, we've seen instances where players have not got salary for a long time.
Yeah.
And we heard Chiranjeev talk to Ranjit Singh. So Ranjit Singh did mention that issues are not that they're not taking care. There is a body, although it is unofficial. The FPAI, the Federation for Players Association, is there to help out in case there's a big problem. So we've not seen that hamper the team. Yes, there were some rumours, or at least something going on about that players were not paid on time. The dues were not cleared for too long. And this happened with Chennai as well. Chennai City also were under the that label that they are not paying the players. But it all got resolved, right? It did not lead to something like a protest. There was protest only one place, the Mumbai FC protests. So that is a different matter altogether. But those things really don't lead to a club shutting down. It's not that bad of a decision or something that can impact you to shut down an entire club.
So here the bigger concern is, of course, them not having a stadium to play out of. If that is the buzz that's going around, finally gets confirmed and saying, hey, you know what, we will have a parallel league. ISL and I League will be played at the same time. And then we even spoke about this. I think when Chiranjeev was there on the show, we were talking when this all this mess started earlier, saying that what if Mohun Bagan, East Bengal and ATK play out of the same stadium? Imagine if they're playing out from Salt Lake and there are parallel leagues happening. The same concern, right? Who they are. Or is it advertising have to change every weekend or whenever the match happens, and you have to keep shuffling everything. Like, it's also a problem for the club, also for the problem for the people who are working out there, and then the players, everything. It's just that you're sharing a home. It's not even your home ground. It's the three clubs sharing. Here, same situation in Pune, where they do have facilities and where they train their academy and stuff. It's not yet to be played an official league match over there. So all these just, I don't know when will AIFF or whoever is running.
All this while I was always thinking that the AIFF is in favor of corporate teams. Corporate teams meaning DSK Shivajians, and they did come in via the corporate entry, right?
Yeah.
So these corporate entries are the ones who are given direct entry into the I League. They were not part of the second division or any other. They just paid a huge sum of money and they entered the I League directly. I thought AIFF was really favouring them, giving them some extra.
Yeah, and these people went even more extra. They extended. They had an academy. They had a tie with Liverpool, and they were taking things seriously. They got this man who was part of their academy as well, and he was doing a wonderful job. Just like we saw his results over there. So this all, I don't know. I mean, just like, the fans reacting on Twitter and exchanging words and thoughts. One of them that said, this should have been taken into consideration and already been thought that this is a big problem of clubs pulling out when the first time ever a club pulled out. Okay, we've been talking about Royal Boingdo, clubs like Pune FC and all of that. And then at least when you came across that three big Goan teams that have been instrumental in your whole Indian football per se pulled out, and you just didn't do anything. I mean, you just stood there saying that we tried our best, and you just washed your hands off and you moved on and saying that we don't care. I mean, this really shows whoever's running football is not for development of Indian football, at least for this moment. Even if you say 3 years down the line, I'll get a top division league which follows all the rules and regulations. But what about teams pulling out, man? It's just sad. I mean, and that too from Pune, okay? Pune is still struggling to get fans in there. We've seen even FC, whether it's FC Pune City or, slowly DSK having some group of fans. So imagine, even them, they'll have to go in the same club, see these two teams play. It's just rightly as you said. I mean, even the story put out on the website says, logistically it doesn't make sense. I mean, you can't just share, right? Say, okay, two different clubs, two different leagues. It's supposed to play in one league, probably play against each other, but there you go, you can't, right? And it's just, I don't know, it's just terrible, and it reflects when somebody else from outside India, as all we've been saying that, throughout this episodes, that somebody really looking at us, looking into football, who wants to have a general idea of football, and looking at India, okay, the Indian national team is doing so well. I mean, even the recent result, will help boost our rankings even better now. And all of this, and then when you study this league structure, you're like, oh, there's no league apparently. I mean, there's literally no league, so there would be no structure. There's nothing over there. Teams are pulling off. Coaches have no jobs. They don't know where they're going to play. There's no contract being signed. Players are told not to sign contract because, hey, you don't know where you're going to play. You don't know which league, which team is going to be there. It just leaves you nowhere. Like, this is literally a mess, and I don't know. What else can we talk about this?
I think for me, it's just killing of small kids,
Yeah.
They've grown up, they've been groomed so well. Liverpool, the tie-up with Liverpool for the DSK Shivajians has really helped them.
Yeah.
Dave Rogers gets in a lot of experience from England, and we've seen how they did well in the youth league as well.
Yeah.
To some extent, they were quite capable of fighting and putting up a good show.
Right.
So you're just killing it. You're something that is just growing up, and it's the right there. DSK Shivajians didn't make it to the Fed Cup, and what a fight they had put up against the stronger opponents in that group. It was a tough group.
Yeah.
Bengaluru FC.
Yeah.
Who thought DSK would give them such a tough fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, for me, the bigger problem over here is AIFF is turning a blind eye. They know it's not.
I don't think they can even do much.
They
because
can.
Their hands
They can.
Are tied.
They don't want
it's
to.
IMGR
Whoever it is. They talked about Jerry. They gave him the limelight in ISL. They gave him the best player or something.
Emerging player.
And then in the I League also he was in the spotlight. Where does he go? He started off from ISL. He moved to DSK Shivajians. He was consistent there, and then he moved to national team.
Yeah.
So where are you going to get Jerrys for the national team from? When you just kill clubs that are growing talent, that are giving the national team, such talent for the future. It's not for now. If you do not build a team for the future, it's going to be difficult. Again, the problem that Constantine faced was he brought down the average age of the team. Players in the national team were mostly about 25, 28 plus.
Yeah.
Look at the average team age now. It's well below 25. Jerry, 18, 19 years. He's there for the team. He has brought himself. He's proved himself to the nation. But killing of teams like DSK Shivajians, what is it going to lead to? It's going to be a big problem that youngsters will not be seen. It is again going to be back to the problem that we'll see 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds making their debuts. And it's just sad.
Because one thing is they've mentioned really thoroughly when they revealed it to the TFG that no matter what happens to the main team or playing in the league, the academy won't be affected. But it's also that which is one good sign.
Where is it going to lead to?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was coming to. That's a one good sign. Okay, academy will be there. But it's also that when players get close in academy, they would love to play for the same club because knowing that, okay, you got used to the academy now, I've got used to the atmosphere. Now a sudden change and the academy has to let go of the players to some other clubs.
Yeah, just imagine the academy kids playing at that field, that facility of theirs. They see DSK Shivajian players coming on and off. They can just, it's so close to the Balivedi Stadium that even they can go and watch the team play.
Yeah.
And it's for them to achieve, for them to aim for.
Yeah.
After the academy graduation, I know I can get into that DSK Shivajian's team. But now what?
No,
There's a big question mark. There's
yeah.
nothing. It's darkness ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really in shambles. And I don't know, we've been saying this for a very long time, and we are in the same situation of saying the same things it's high time that just wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, it's really time. It's time up now before more clubs start pulling off with the reasons. But it's still to be declared about whether ISL League will happen simultaneously or what. Nobody is sure of. I don't think even the ones who are running it are sure of. It's really in a mess. And the other news is that let's move on. I mean, it's really sad. Well, the other thing is that the AIFF's Champions League idea, which they wanted to say of after ISL League gets over, we'll have a Champions League where the top teams play. But it has been rejected by MGR, and we did expect that to happen. Reasons are saying that
AIFF proposes,
IMGR declines.
disposes.
Yeah, and the reason stating is a short season, no time for it. And well, anyway, ISL is getting an AFC Cup slot. So why do you need another league and call it another thing? And it's the same thing. You're just making the players play, and really have no time. And when it comes for national duty, you're like, boom. Players are injured, fatigue, you need to rest them. All of that happens. So I don't know. It's just in a mess. The other stuff is that, well, the under 17. In all of these, the good parts just get sidelined, just get rubbed away. It's so bad. It's really annoying. So the under 17 team played Macedonia. 17 team, and they drew.
They supposedly played Macedonia under 17 team. We do not know the composition of that team, whether it was the national side or was
I think it's high time that we keep talking about that.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
They are on an exposure tour. They are playing teams that are much better than us, much fitter, much physical. The strength is much more than us, and this really gives us a lot of practice. The team is not yet finalized, so it gives a good chance for the coach as well to understand who's been doing consistently, because it's European teams that are much technically better than us. Over the time we've played so many countries. Italy, we played. I think we played Portugal, Serbia, now Macedonia. Now these countries really will will give us a mirror that how good we are, how good we can be. It's the potential test that we are put to. And it's a good idea that we are playing a lot of games. It's not just one single game. It's been more than 2 months that they are there.
I think just before probably when they are back, I think when they are back also they should play 1 or 2 games at home as well, because considering that they are playing at home, so they should just have an exposure in some states that they are not, where the weather can be.
But they'll never get teams as good as these.
Yeah. So have to be worked out if they can get other teams to just before it starts. Now we shall definitely touch upon the whole Tutu Basu Mohan Bagan saga. If you've read the TFG take, it clearly mentions that Tutu Basu wanted Mohan Bagan to play in ISL, and probably him leaving the post might just irk Mohan Bagan to do that, but we still have to wait and watch how they will play this whole game. And we'll bring you all that detailed analysis when a man from Mohan Bagan joins us back on the show, which is tomorrow. He'll be there. We'll definitely talk about everything else, because there are new news emerging every day, and tomorrow would be an extensive show because we'll be covering upon everything that we've left out. So hopefully you enjoyed this show. We discussed it, I think, pretty well. Now if you want to read more about it, all you have to do is get on our website, thefangarage.com. If you want to talk to us directly on Twitter, the handle is Boza_Kevin, Chiranjeev Oja, Sujan Matthew 94. Follow the TFG football Twitter handle where you get everything Indian football. Now, if you're listening to our show on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. comments. Keep it coming and appreciate every word, or good word and a bad word is appreciated. Everything, critics, we've taken everything well. Now you can also listen to our show on various other podcasting apps like iTunes, SoundCloud, and etc. That's all, folks. Hopefully we can get some good news over the days that are coming, and we finally see some closure to all this mess that's happening. Have a great day, folks. Come back to us tomorrow. Cheers.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, ड्रिंक्स एंड डेस्टिनेशन है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.